In this 410th episode, we will be decoding the fall of Solomon. Solomon, the wisest king to ever live, now sat alone in a palace built by regret. The man who had once spoken with the voice of angels, who had dazzled the queen of Sheba and raised a temple to God's glory, now bore the crushing weight of his own choices. For even wisdom, when divorced from obedience, becomes a prison. He had asked for wisdom to lead God's people, but in time, he began to worship not the giver, but the gifts, and the seeds of his downfall were sown in the very halls of his splendor. Solomon's heart, once devoted to God, was divided. His marriages to foreign princesses were meant to secure alliances, but they became chains. To please his wives, he built altars to Chemosh, Molech, and Asherah, gods who demanded fire and blood. The king who had dedicated the temple of Yahweh now bowed to demons. With each offering to false gods, the light of Solomon's covenant faded. The Lord's warning echoed unheard. Do not intermarry with them, for they will turn your heart away from me. But Solomon's hunger for power and pleasure had drowned the voice of wisdom. Solomon's sin seeped into his kingdom. His people groaned under the burden of his excess, forced to build pagan temples and fund his indulgences. The Lord sent Ahijah the prophet to Jeroboam. Take this cloak. 10 tribes will be torn from Solomon's son and given to you. The once united Israel now teetered on the edge of civil war. Solomon's legacy crumbled with his final breath. His son Rehoboam's arrogance ignited rebellion, and the kingdom David had united was shattered. But the greatest loss was yet to come, a loss that would strip Jerusalem of its soul. Unknown to Solomon, his greatest sin had sealed Jerusalem's fate. The Ark of the Covenant, the throne of God's presence, would not remain in a city defiled by idolatry. In the dead of night, Menelik, Solomon's forgotten son, obeyed a divine command. Take the ark to a land that still fears my name. Solomon awoke to a hollow silence. The Shekinah glory had departed. His kingdom was divided, his temple a shell, his legacy a cautionary tale. Yet God's faithfulness endured. The ark, and the covenant it represented, would find refuge in Ethiopia, a nation that would guard it with reverence Solomon had forgotten. And so, the glory of Solomon faded into shadow. But the ark's journey to Ethiopia was not an end, it was a promise. For God's presence cannot be chained to stone or gold. It dwells with the humble, the faithful, the repentant. And in time, a greater son of David would rise, not to build temples, but to tear the veil between heaven and earth. In episode 15, we will be decoding the prophecy of the end times. If you have found this video interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell to be informed of our next episode. See you on our next episode.